asking the casting directors now, when you guys are working as casting directors, not as executives. What is your process? How do you go from 2,000 submissions to something manageable where you can actually call in and meet them? How do you make that choice? What's the process?
I mean, I think it starts with when you read the script, you've talked to the director, you've talked to the producers, you get an idea of what they want, what the studio wants, what the role wants, and what you think, because sometimes they're wrong or they're closed, you know, and they don't see a possibility, and that's...
They're wrong.
They're wrong sometimes. So it's a casting director's job to know when they're wrong and to expand possibilities, and then, so you get all that in your head, and you kind of get an idea, and then you go through the submissions, and, to me, it's sort of like a game, where you look for like a match, where two things sort of match kind of in your head. So you're looking for submissions that pop to your eye, because sometimes when you're scrolling and scrolling, you guys all experience this, even if you're on Facebook, you're scrolling and scrolling after a while, you don't even know what you're seeing anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when the submission, it's so clear and good and whatever, it pops, and then your brain goes, is this kind of a match with what I was looking for? And then you explore it further. So then you click on it, then you open, and then you refine your search, And sometimes you start with, with the people that have good people, right? Because it's about relationships, and when an agent has good taste, you might look at their stuff first. You might look at what pops up at the top of the search first. You might go to A-list agencies first. If you're looking for small parts, you might look at the smaller agencies first. So it really depends on the role as well as all those other factors.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I was casting a movie, The Wrong Stuff, and I had to find people with French-Canadian accents. Which is really tough. Yeah. So, I did go through all the submissions, and they're probably 200 as opposed to 2,000 for a part like that. So I literally looked at every picture, and then, when you click on the picture, then you can see a person's resume, and if they have some media, you can click on the media, you can watch their reel. I guess you guys all know
Were
that.
they all LA based?
No.
From what you could tell, no, because it's so rad.
Yeah, no, there were some LA based.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we also had to search, other ways as well. But then if you're casting a young woman, I was doing a movie called Dearly Beloved where I needed a young woman in her early 20s. So then to play a lead, right. So I got 2,000 submissions for that, literally. And that's when I really looked at first their picture, absolutely.
It's always first their picture. That's the first thing
because
we
it had
see.
to be a look, right?
So-
That you say, oh, it pops. That picture is interesting to me. I want to know more about that person. Then you look at
And let's just back up a second, because I'm just going to take this apart for everybody.
Okay.
All right. So how big is the picture on your screen? Let's talk about that.
It's a stamp.
It's 2 by 2.5.
Thank you. Okay, so it's very small.
And they come up by default 100 per page. That can be changed. But so 2,000. You got 20 pages, and so scrolling through that happens pretty quickly. And I'm actually amazed at casting directors are good at what they do and can spot faces going by very quickly. But it tends to blow by. I mean, you imagine they're this big, and it's a grid of about 5 across, and then they just scroll through.
So when you're choosing your picture, look at it small.
Yes. Yeah.
Please.
Because
I was just looking at pictures tonight to talk to you guys about it, and I saw some people had their heads cut off, so you have to consider that. Some people had it very tight close-up, which is okay, but has a distracting background, so you want to think also about the background. Some pictures were very dark, and I couldn't actually see the actor that clearly. So contrast is really important, but that you're able to see the features really clearly.
But this is why we call it a headshot. It really should be, for the picture you put in Breakdown Services or in one of those databases, it really is, it should be the head, right?
Well, I mean, it should be the head, not the head this, because
Yeah,
that's
that's
like a disembodied,
Right.
it's just a weird thing to see, that's like a face shot.
Right.
I think it has to have a little bit of context, otherwise it's just
Yeah,
weird.
I agree, and I also think that there isn't like one rule about it.
No.
I was looking at one girl's picture, and it was actually from down here, but there was something about her angle that my eye went to her picture. So I think it's very individual, and you have to use some artistry about,
Yeah,
you want to
I agree.
communicate who you
Yeah.
are and how you want the casting director to see you. That's the most important thing.
The rules are there are no rules, but
Right.
Yeah.
what you do want is to be seen, and to be seen on a page full of 100 thumbnails, and you want yours to pop for the right reasons. The
Right.
lighting, the contrast, some pop of color, a little twinkle in your eye. You know, but a twinkle in your eye is no good if it's a dark background and you're dark skinned and that photographer didn't know how to light you, you know?
So it's something that you can't skip on anyway. You do have to really invest in a headshot that's really gonna work for you, that you just can't skip on that.